Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in Wonderlands. We are talking about the GraveBorn, all of his skills. I know I was not special. I did not get early access. I'm just on the website like a disgusting heathen. Anyways, but yes, we are going to be talking about the GraveBorn. GraveBorn, I always say Grave Warden because that was the class that I thought I was going to play. But I actually might not, because the Grave Warden, actually, we reviewed last part, and he didn't have as many companion summonable abilities that I was hoping for. He did have action skill cooldown on the very bottom, but you could just yoink that if you wanted, because it's one of the first initial skills. And we'll talk about why kill skills are very, very tantalizing to the GraveBorn in this video right now. Right off the hop, go get something to drink, relax, sit down with me, and let's get hyped for some characters. Let's start brainstorming as a community about what's gonna hippity happen in sequence and okay. I did this with Borderlands 2, my friends. In high school, we're doing it now. Okay, so first things first, if you haven't seen anything about the GraveBorn, this is a class that has everyone's attention. It is essentially the summoner adjacent blood magic class, which is just them hyper stacking value. It's like, who doesn't want to use blood magic and who doesn't want to summon shit? Also, it sequences in with a very good base ability. So one of the things in Wonderland is that you're able to pick two classes. People are kind of wondering, well, what class should I pick first? What class has like strong in the beginning, so I'm not going to sit there and chug through, you know, is there a capstone that kind of unlocks the class? Oh no. That kind of thing. Whereas the GraveBorn seems to be just a very good starter pick. Not only does he have fun, interesting abilities, but he seems to actually be able to do enough damage and play a certain kind of way that you can win, and his capstone is actually a capstone that applies to almost every other class that maybe has kill skills. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's probably no at this point, especially if we've seen the previous video, but anyways. Also, this class's feat, or a class ability kind of thing, your passive class ability, I should say, is your Demi Lich companion. This is one of the best pound for pounds companions I've seen. The Fate Maker, you, is accompanied by a Demi Lich. This companion targets enemies at a range and deals magical damage. Any companion that deals damage at a range is already immensely successful. It's harder to hit them, they'll always be dealing damage, and they'll usually be phasing through any geometry. So you're basically, for some of the melee enemies, might have to run their ass over to an enemy. That's going to be damage that's not being dealt. So this guy is just going to constantly be outputting damage, and it doesn't even stop there. Whenever the Fate Maker casts a spell, the Demi Lich will cast a Hellish Blast, creating a homing projectile spell element type, dealing damage to nearby enemies on impact. That's amazing. Also, I thought that they said that the Demi Lich would have multiple spells. I guess he just has one. What the fuck? Anyways, I guess they meant the GraveBorn has multiple summonable spells, which we'll get into. But point being is, whenever you cast a spell, this has no cooldown. We've got confirmation on that. We've seen it in the demo, where you're just casting, and whatever spell you're casting, whether it's fire, moments later you will see randomly throughout the map a homing, like almost guarantee hit spell, whatever spell. If it's fire, you're seeing a bigger fireball come after your enemy. Maybe not bigger, because sometimes you can summon a meteor and your little tiny Lich King can only just summon a bigger ball. But anyway, this is huge. Also, whatever increase to your Fate Maker's damage also applies to your companions. I'm curious to see if this is gun damage or if it's just damage increase. Like sometimes there is just base damage increase that is applied to your Fate Maker, so maybe that's what they mean, but I'd be curious to see what this exactly means. So any sort of damage increase to your Fate Maker. I wonder, like, if we do gun damage, and this is technically a ranged bit of damage, does that also give our Demi Lich a bonus? I don't know. Regardless, that is an amazing feat, just in itself, especially if you happen to be doing any magic. Huge. Also, it's just, like, you can never miss with this thing. So even if he's doing shit damage, he's still applying whatever the dark magic debuff is, or damage over time, so an enemy will be affected by that element. Just plenty of value there. Anyways, action skills. These are the two abilities that you can actually equip. You can only equip one, but there's the two. Dire Sacrifice. The Fate Maker sacrifices current health to deal dark magic damage and apply dark magic status effect to all enemies nearby. Dark Sacrifice deals bonus damage proportional to the sacrificed amount of health. So this is basically just a huge AoE smash. So this is actually what people do not use. Sorry, I think I may have said this is what people use. People typically don't use this because it's just kind of one and done, and it had a long cooldown. Also, you're constantly moving area to area, so you just kind of get past stuff really fast. Anyways, Reaper of Bones is what people have been using. The Fate Maker is fully healed, gains Lich effect, which is basically healing, and deals bonus dark magic damage for a current amount of time, or for an amount of time, but loses an increasing amount of health per second. So you're gonna probably start losing like 1 health, or 1% of health, then 2% of health, 3% of health, and you might be asking, well, wait, the duration is going to go away, what's happening? No, basically, eventually you'll cap out on your health, you'll lose all of your health, and then the skill will basically be over. And what happens when you lose all your health? You do not die, you do this instead. When the Fate Maker would have died, they become invulnerable for 3 seconds, give or take. We know this because we have seen gameplay of the GraveBorn restore some of their health, but like 20% of your health, and the Reaper of Bones will end. How this works is you're going to activate this ability, you're going to be getting healed, but you're also going to be getting killed. You're going to be getting damage over time effect on your health. Also, you are going to be dealing bonus dark magic damage on any gun you do, any gun you shoot with. Awesome. And then when you eventually die, because it's inevitable, because it's going to increase and ramp up the amount of percent of HP you have. So even if you have 1,000 HP, it doesn't matter. It's still going to take a chunk out of it, a percentage of it away. You're going to eventually lose everything. And then you are going to be invulnerable for 3 seconds, have 20 health, and the skill is going to be over. So hopefully, and you guys will see, a lot of the first initial skills are increasing your survivability. So first of all, Mortal Vessel. Maximum health increased, Lich Effect is increased. Now Lich Effect is, we don't know if that is going to basically be the amount that you are healing from the Leech. I say Lich, by the way, Leech I meant to say. Or if this is, maybe this is taking, like, you're going to be taking a less of a percentage of the cost that dark magic asks of you, which is usually blood magic, which is usually your health. But probably safe to say that it just increases the amount you can heal through dark magic as effect. Anyways, Essence Drain, kill skill. Spell cooldown rate is increased for a duration. So ladies and gentlemen, keep your eye on that. If you wanted to play Magic, this sequences in really well. Whenever you get a kill, you're going to be able to cast your spells a little bit faster. So Spell Shot looking very tempting. But anyways, Faithful Thralls. This is the companion aspect. The Fate Maker deals bonus damage for every companion they have. Companion respawn rate is increased. Respawn rate is increased. So we've actually seen the numbers on this, and it's actually pretty good. But it's also bonus damage. So the Fate Maker deals bonus damage. Period. It's not bonus gun damage, it's not bonus melee damage, not spell damage, it's just damage applied to everything, which is pretty nuts. And I do believe this does have a stacking mechanic. I think it's 3. So when you have 3 companions, you're going to be able to have this huge bonus to your damage, to all damage, which makes the summoner playstyle just that much more lucrative. And you might be asking, but wait, how do I get more companions? I can only get 2. Well, you don't even need any companions if you're just running this. You already have 1 with the GraveBorn. Well, we'll get to it. But there might be an easy way to get a lot of companions really fast, especially if you have max investment in the skill tree. Even if you don't, you'll probably still be fine. This is a huge pickup, just for like anybody. Just because it's just damage applied to everything, and there's a skill that makes this fundamentally easy to get. Anyway, Sun-Glazed Sacrifice. Also, we're at tier 2 now, so this is a little bit, this is a second row of investment within the skill tree. When the Fate Maker casts a spell, they regenerate health briefly. I'm loving this class because of how much it sequences. So again, you are losing health, you have incentivization to cast spells, and whenever you cast spells, you're going to be healing. And yeah, you regenerate health for a brief amount of time. It doesn't matter if your spell has like 5 casts, right? Anyways, Dark Pack. Dark magic damage is increased. You're going to be doing dark magic damage through your Lich, through if you have the action skill equipped, and also through another constant source. So this is not a bad pickup at all, and this is kind of the problem with the Demi Lich or the GraveBorn, is that everything is kind of a good pickup. Harvest, 3 out of 3 points, by the way, can only be invested into this. This is a kill skill, but companions deal bonus dark magic damage for a short duration. This effect can stack. baby. Bonus. First of all, we're increasing our dark magic damage, and we are doing bonus damage on whatever we're doing. If we have the wyvern, if we have the mushroom, whatever we have, the lich, they're going to be dealing bonus damage on whatever they're dealing. So the mushroom deals poison damage. So on top of the poison damage, he's going to be dealing dark magic damage. Now I believe dark magic damage's whole thing is that it has leech or lifesteal. So I wonder if that passively, if you have this, you'll be hard to kill because your companions will, especially if you have the wyvern and the lich, they're gonna constantly be hitting and dealing damage, especially if you're casting spells. And then you're just going to be synthetically regenerating health that way. But maybe dark magic has a different utility, or maybe they're going to be getting healed because of that. Regardless, huge, amazing thing. Amplifies all of your companions' damage, which I don't know if Tediors count as companions or if there are spells that give you more companions, like golems, goblins, or whatever. But that would be a huge pickup, even just for them, if there are spells that count as companion damage. We're talking too much. Dread Covenant, a 1 point, can only be spent into this one. Also, we're at tier 3. A portion of the damage taken by the Fate Maker is redirected to the Demi Lich. When the Fate Maker reaches 1 health, they immediately restore health, sacrificing their Demi Lich. This skill has a long cooldown. Now, I do think this is something to note. I don't know if this is actually how it works, but it says a portion of the damage taken will now be given to your Demi Lich, which usually means you have a reduced damage, but now your Demi Lich is constantly getting damaged when you're getting hit. But then there's another part of this. If you do happen to die, you will basically get a second do-over. And I do believe there was something in here that made it so that your companion, our companion comes back faster, basically. So it was not as bad as you might think, but just the idea that you're going to be more tanky now, and your Demi Lich is going to be taking more damage, but the fact that if there's through some of these abilities, your kill skill, your companion's dealing dark magic damage, and I would assume that means they're also healing because of that dark magic damage, but maybe I'm inferring too much. Stain of the Soul, 5 point max investment. The Fate Maker spells that deal bonus dark magic damage. So again, a lot of the spells seem like they sequence really well with the magic class, the dual wielding caster class, because you're dealing more damage with your companions, and also there's just synthetic benefits to you throwing around spells. And now you've added giving us a frost spell, the damage bonus of dark magic also. Which is just, there's always going to be dark magic on the field. So if there's any sort of amplification or class ability that gives you some sort of amplified effect if an enemy's under the effect of dark magic, it's going to be hype. Anyways, Dark Hydra. This is like the main reason why I think everyone's going to want to play this class. Kill skill. Chance of summoning a Dark Hydra companion. So this does count as a companion, so all companion damage will be given to this thing, I believe. Dealing dark magic ability damage to nearby enemies for a duration. Interesting. So I guess that's dark magic ability damage. So I guess stuff like increases dark magic would apply. But interesting. But regardless, the fact of the matter is you're summoning forth a lich, and from the gameplay that I've seen, these liches can actually hit hard. Like if you just kill 2 things and you just kind of sit back, they wreck. Also, they have homing projectiles, so they actually shoot, and they're 90 times out of 10 they're gonna hit their target with their little kind of spectral cast, I guess. Anyways, keep note of this. You can put 3 points in this, and I believe what that does is increases the chance of summoning them on a kill skill. But anyways, that is just good enough. You basically summon forth this red, demonic Hydra that spits out things. And also, you can only have 3 on the field at a max time. But this is also a way to get the benefits. Yeah, Faithful Thralls. The Fate Maker deals bonus damage when you have companions on the field. So you'll do more damage when the companions are on the field. You just get 3 kills. If you have high investment in the skill, there's a high chance you're going to need your Hydras. You're going to have max damage in that on 100% uptime. Also, there might be a way to get this without even having to kill something. So it'll be good for bossing as well. Anyways, tier 4, baby. Ascension. 3 points max. Kill skill, max health, spell damage are increased for a long duration. This effect can stack. So again, it very much seems like they're really queuing the GraveBorn to be a magic enhancer as well as a survivability enhancer. So if you wanted to go Spellcaster and GraveBorn, it seems like they keep pushing you in that direction of you can keep going, popping off, essentially. Also, spell damage, there might be spells that allow you to summon things, and that might be considered spell damage or companion damage, so it probably would be a good idea to invest in both. So if you do want to be the summoner, hopefully there are some summons that can summon forth hydras. We, I think, have heard that, yeah, where you use a spell and you have like 3 hydras that actually start fighting. So yeah, essentially spell damage might, I'm not sure what it's considered. It might be considered both. Spell damage and companion damage might be considered the same thing, and you'll just have even more damage with your summons. If not, it'd be nice just to have something to do when your summons are fucking stuff up, you know? Anyway, punishment, 1 point. When your Demi Lich casts Hellish Blast, there is a chance it will be cast again after a brief delay. So essentially, Hellish Blast, if I'm not mistaken, is your Demi Lich's follow-up attack whenever you cast a spell. So when you're casting spells, it'll be really curious to see if this does not have any internal cooldown, which I don't think it does. So if you have an ability, like a wand, that casts 5 uses, you'll be playing, and then after a delay, all of those will come out after he already released 1. So it will be like times 10, or just even more, essentially. That's exciting. That's really exciting. I didn't even really realize that. I wonder if this scales off of the spell, or I wonder if your Demi Lich's Hell Blast scales off of your spell. It must scale off your spell, or maybe companion damage. Regardless, that just seems like a must pick if you're, just because of the Demi Lich, and it's only if you're using magic, I suppose. Yeah, Lord of Edge, 1 point at a max, so we cannot go 5 out of 5 in this. The Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt and damage reduced for the lower their health. This seems pretty good, although I could see it being contradictive to some of the skills in here that give you a lot of HP and healing. But regardless, this skill seems to like plummet your health regardless of what you want. Reaper of Bones. So you'll, at the very least, towards the very end of its activation, most likely kill whatever it is. But you can only put 1 point in here, which is something to consider. Blast Gasp, 5 points max. When the Fate Maker deals spell damage, again, they're really cranking out the spell, like, use magic. Fuck guns, you have companions, and you have spells. Fuck off. Also, there's a way to reduce your spell cooldown, which I thought wouldn't be in here, but it is. And there's a way to easily activate. Oh my god, it sequences so well. Anyways, I'll talk about it in a minute. There is a chance to create an explosion, dealing ability damage of the spell's elemental type to nearby enemies. The elemental explosion, however, cannot crit hit. This don't matter. Who cares if it can't crit hit? The fact that you're just getting bonus damage whenever the Fate Makers deals spell damage, that's it. That could be like a damage over time spell on the ground maybe, and that constantly detonating. There's a chance, okay, so this is a chance-based activation, to create an explosion dealing ability damage. Okay, also maybe a little bit skewed when it comes to like investment. So you're investing in spell damage, companion damage, blood magic damage, but then you're also throwing in ability damage. Kind of gets a little fucky, but that seems awesome. I love chance-based abilities like that, especially when they are very flashy, like exploding in a huge area. But ladies and gentlemen, this is tier 6. This is the final capstone on GraveBorn, which is so good. Casting a spell automatically activates all of the Fate Maker's kill skills. This applies utility, bonus, benefit to every class almost, as long as they have 1 kill skill and it's not the worst. That's huge. Not only that, but that sequences beautifully into the whole kit of this person. So for instance, Dark Hydra is a kill skill. So if you have a cast of a wand that can cast 5 times, you're detonating the chance to summon 3 Hydras super easily. I would assume they summon at your feet, because normally whenever you kill an enemy, they get summoned below the enemy that you killed's feet. But anyways, we also have stuff like this that sequences in perfectly. A kill skill, Essence Drain. Spell cooldown rate is increased for a duration. So this kill skill is always going to be active as soon as we end our cast of our spell. So as long as we keep casting, we're going to have our spells coming back faster, perfectly sequencing in with that. Kill skill again, companions deal bonus magical damage. So your companions will always be doing a bonus dark magic damage. And again, if we increase dark magic damage and we can easily give ourselves the maximum effective stacking of whatever this bonus dark magic damage is going to be for our companions, that's going to be huge. In fact, the thing that makes me a little bummed, well, we don't know, because hopefully there are spells that count as companion damage. Because I don't think TD or weapons they count as companions, despite them being, kind of floating companions. But To me, I would love to get the Wyvern basically, but it does seem like there's so much stuff in this kit that seems like it's pushing you towards, well, spells are really good. Like, you're going to be casting to detonate all of these things. Why not do more damage with casting? So to me, it's like Spell Shot. Spell Shot's what it's screaming at you to do, especially if Spell Shot has damage amplification on spells. Anyways, kill skill again. Maximum health and spell damage are increased for a long duration. This effect can stack. So we're going to be getting a ton of HP, and we're going to be getting a ton of spell damage as soon as we activate our spells. So you're going to be activating your wand. It's going to be coming back faster, the cooldown of your casting, and you're going to be becoming more tanky, and you're going to be dealing more damage on the next go round of your casting. It just seems like this alone, that one capstone, gives so much utility to the whole kit and allows you to kind of boss with this ability and this kit. So this is why the GraveBorn is like so good. Is he seems like he sequences perfectly. Although I will say he does seem like he's pushing himself in the direction of magic. But with that being said, though, you can just, again, like, even if you just use him as a synthetic buffer for your companions and just giving bonus damage application for dark magic on just about everything, you're good. The only thing I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of for him is his abilities. So Dark Sacrifice seems kind of blech. Reaper of Bones, I don't know. I think this is the one that everyone's just going to be using because it just kind of seems generally really good. But I don't know. It doesn't make me excited to just kind of be like, hua! And then I'm shooting and I'm kind of like healing. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't like have a big showy execution. You know, it's just kind of like it's kind of like Gunzerking where you're like, yeah, I'm shooting twice, but I know it's overpowered and good. It doesn't excite me, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the GraveBorn. I appreciate anyone watching this one with me because I know people had like gameplay in the background and they were really talking about everything. But this is actually really good too because we can actually see what, like, some people were talking. I remember seeing that. Where people were saying like Punishment or something like a Lord of Edge was going to be really overpowered, but you can only put 1 point into this. So it's still good. It's probably still worth 1 point, especially with how much damage we know they're giving us. And also how much damage reduction you're getting, so you're just increasing your survivability a lot with 1 point. So it just becomes quite good. Yeah, I appreciate people who stuck with this because I know this was not like the cream of the crop in terms of my showcase potential. But the next class we're going to be looking into, ladies and gentlemen, which gives me, this is especially after just seeing the GraveBorn and really understanding his skills, how he's massively amplifying magic as well as your kill skills. Here's hoping, man, there's some cool like kill skills in the spell shots. That'd be awesome if like a sequence of another spell could be cast and detonated. I just feel like that perfectly sequences into him if it's a kill skill. If it could just be detonated every single time you cast, you have a chance of like striking a lightning simultaneously whenever you get a kill skill. Stuff like that. I'm excited. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, we're going to cover a lot of course, Wonderland. And again, a lot of the classes. I will see how much you guys like me rambling about these. But thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We're streaming constantly on the channel, by the way. Stop by and tell me what the hell you think about whatever class you're planning on playing. Thank you again, and goodbye.